Last time on Realm of the Gods, Big Trouble in Little God's Town. The episode started with the gang teleporting to the cobbler's cottage along with Lassius. There, Lassius created his best shoe yet, pushing his worthiness to new heights. Nolene, the goddess of luck, requests some sick kicks from the cobbler, who creates some masterpiece sandals that totally jive with her style. Returning to their base of operations, the gang then begins preparing for their first destination, in the search for Somad's killer. Hercules' stand-up comedy event. They collectively decide footwear alone won't cut the mustard. It's time for a fashion makeover. The gang heads down to the mall to do some totally awesome upgrades to their outfits. Ringo wears a nice and Briathar wear nice outfits, while Lessius dons a shoe-themed Hawaiian shirt that is tacky as all hell. Nolene, knowing that Lessius is totally a fashionista, begs him for advice on the ideal outfit that will knock Hercules out of his socks, if he had them. I'm pretty certain he's wearing sandals. Lessius reaches into the nearest bin and crafts an outfit that has perfect synergy. Jean shorts with a bright pink reflective top, topped fabulously with the iconic One Anime Dad hat. She is unsure, but Lessius tells her it's totally in vogue and to roll with it. The gang heads out to Hercules' stand-up comedy event. They arrive mid-set, and man, Hercules is bombing it. Man, he really blows, but people are lapping it up anyway. The guy is a walking thirst trap, so people are laughing anyways. After the event ends, Hercules heads off to sign autographs, and the crowd absolutely mobs him. The lines are absolutely massive. Briathar steps up with a brilliant plan to clear the crowd ethically and gracefully. "I have a friggin' bomb!" he yelled, holding up a device that absolutely looked like an explosive device. People began fleeing in terror as the bomb ticked down, but many people then remained. Ringo, looking to make a quick buck as usual, opens up a food stand and begins selling tainted food that causes everyone in the audience to need to poop. Most do not make it to the bathroom before they make a deposit on the floor. Briathar then whips out his pocket hose, it's definitely not like it sounds, and sprays the crowd and much of the poop away. Nolene steps in poop in her new Cobber brand sandals and foolishly states that she wants to get rid of them, and Lessius took that personally. Lessius enters a tirade about how she doesn't deserve to wear footwear as prestigious as the cobblers if she thinks they are that disposable. Briathar blasts the sandals with his trusty, reliable pocket hose, and Nolene makes the right choice to continue wearing them. The gang reaches the front of the line, shoving the poop-covered fans out of the way, and Nolene speaks with Hercules. The gang learns that Hercules is done with demos, and that he must work at some whiny loser place. The gang then traveled to the Den of Desires, where they last knew Demos was. Aphrodite met with the gang and revealed that Demos used to work at the Den of Desires as the main whiny bitch boy. The Den of Desires is now without a bitch boy, and Aphrodite tasks the group with finding a replacement, and in return will tell the gang where Demos is now working. The gang agrees wholeheartedly, and Aphrodite writes down the address of where Demos is now working. The gang then makes another detour and heads to the grocery store yet again to stock up on Hot Pockets. There, the gang bumped into Serenity, who was buying turnips, even though she could make anything into turnips. She literally is paying for turnips, but has literally infinite turnip potential. What the hell? Also, Briathar absolutely decked Moppin Mike with a rotisserie chicken on the way out. The gang heads to the location to find a business called Whiny Losers, Inc. The gang entered the building to find a robot who, big surprise, was a whiny loser. The gang performed their signature move of bullying the hell out of him until he told us where to speak to his supervisor. The gang goes to meet them, and they turn out to be a whiny cat boy. This guy sucks and is so whiny they are barely able to bully the information out of him. He's so whiny, in fact, that the gang realized that he'd make a perfect subject to hand over to Aphrodite. The gang then heads to the top floor to find the Goblin CEO is not whiny at all, but he has a serious tude, bro. Like he's super not riding the vibes, bro. Not a bro. The gang begins to get ready to ethically extract information from him with these hands when Lessius suggests maybe we just talk to him. Nolene speaks to him successfully, and the gang learns that Demos is in the basement of the facility. The gang heads to the elevator and heads down to the bottom level. When the gang encounters Demos, he looks utterly defeated. Latius and Briathar take the high road, gleefully start messing with him, taunting him, and reminding him that he's a total failure. Demos, in a bleak monotone, just agrees with everything they say, which totally brings down the mood. The gang thought seeing him in a pathetic slump would be a wonderful time, but man, is he a buzzkill now. The gang gets to business and gathers information about his murdered brother. Apparently Demos had been living in a spare room before his brother was killed and is now homeless. Demos reveals that Somidi was part of a secret order called the Dusting Clan, who practiced advanced dusting skills. They led him to join another organization called Shady Activities, whose activities were, well, shady. That's a little bit on the nose, don't you think? Demos also reveals that he's looking for a way out of his current wage cuck job and is open to pledging himself to a god, but no one has taken him in. Given that Demos was below standards for one of Ringo's minions, Lasius decides he would be much more his speed. Demos pledges himself to Lasius and immediately tries to escape with a smoke bomb, screaming, "You fools!" Lasius simply wills him back to the basement office. Lacus then tells him to continue to work for the Whiny Losers Inc. until further notice. Will Demos find redemption or be forced to clean shoes forever? Will the gang solve his brother's murder? Is Serenity turning items into the store into turnips and then turning them back at home and is totally shoplifting? Will Fud be defeated at the Gods Got Talent competition? Find out next time on Realm of the Gods, Big Trouble in Little God's Town.